and make sure it continues to go. Hello, second graders. Welcome to my house again. In light of what's going on in the world with the coronavirus, I thought it would be important to be a little more serious today and dress appropriately. The story I have for us today is called Somebody Said Thank You. It's the importance of the word thank you. I wonder if you have ever stopped to think how very important are those two little words, thank you. Many times they mean much more than you think. If you don't say them properly to your uncle when he gives you a birthday present, you're not likely to get another one the next year. And some boys and girls never say thank you properly. And when someone does some kindness and they merely grunt or say, thanks, and very abruptly, as though they didn't really appreciate in the least what had been done for them. How do you say thank you? I hope you say it most politely. It really is very important. You see, it has the effect not only on the person who says it, but upon the one whom it was said. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this so that you may understand clearly what I mean. Many years ago, in one of our great cities, a poor little boy dressed in very ragged clothes might have been seen playing around the entrance of a large store. Whenever he could do so without being seen, he would enjoy himself swinging on the door until one of his assistants would come out and send him away. One day he was playing there as usual and with two of his equally ragged chums when a carriage drew up to the roadside and a well-dressed lady stepped out and walked across the pavement to enter the store. Seeing her coming, the ragged boy seized the door handle and flung the door open, standing back against it himself to let her go by. "Thank you," said the lady, smiling down pleasantly as she passed through. Something in her voice impressed the lad. "Hi," he called to his chums. "What do you think of that? Fancy her. Thank you to the likes of me." He couldn't get it out of his mind. As he thought it over, he began to say to himself, "And why shouldn't she say thank you to me? And then, why shouldn't I be worthy of her thanks? And then, why should I always be a poor ragged boy? And at last, I will not be a ragged boy any longer." Aroused by the new ambition to make something of himself, he sought a humble job and found one, selling newspapers in the street. After a while, he got a better job. Then he applied for work at a very store where he met the lady. He succeeded and gradually worked himself up until, by faithfulness to duty and hard work, he obtained a good position. Years passed, and then one day that same door opened and a lady entered whose face, now much older, sent a thrill to the young man's heart. She walked to the counter where he was standing. "Do you recognize me?" he said to her. She looked at him carefully. "No," she said slowly, "I'm afraid I cannot say that I do. Have we met before?" "Madam," he said, with much feeling, "we have met only once, and it was at this very door. I was a little ragged boy who opened the door for you one day, and you were kind enough to say thank you to me." "I think I remember," said the lady, "but I had forgotten all about it." "You may have, madam," he said, "but I could not forget. That thank you of yours changed my life. It made me want to make something of myself, and now I want to say thank you to you. And after that, children, don't you think you really should practice saying thank you? Ever so nicely. You cannot tell what effect it will have upon somebody else's life, and it will certainly do you a lot of good as well. And may I make a suggestion? Start practicing today on your mother and father. They do more for you than anybody else. Why not start saying thank you to them every time they help you with your chores or get you dinner or mend your clothes or buy you something that you need? I think you will find that they will be pleased. Certainly they will be surprised. Anyhow, it's worth trying, isn't it? You know, gratitude and thankfulness is a very important quality to have in life. And I know last time I shared with you from this very spot, I was very grateful for your sharing your cookies with me that I had intended to give to you. And today I have to say I don't have any cookies for you, but I do want to thank Mrs. Lecce for her cherry pie that she shared with me today, even though I'm not sure she knew she was sharing the pie. But I had that earlier and I enjoyed it much, so thank you, Mrs. Lecce. Also, I have before me a cake that my wife made for our grandson who couldn't make it over yesterday to have some cake. And I want to thank him because in his absence, I felt it was necessary to sample a piece of cake in his honor to make sure the cake was okay to eat today when he does come over. So as you can see, there is a small piece missing, and even though Grandma thought it was a bad idea, I enjoyed it very much, and I want to tell my grandson thank you for sharing a day early his cake with me. So when you go out today, I want you to think about sharing with other people, but also remembering to say thank you with sincerity, and you might get another reward in the future. So we'll see you again, and thanks for listening.